Welcome. For the few things that we're able to get together for as a community, I can't think of much else that I'd rather have us all gathered together for than celebrating our veterans. Please stand as we start our ceremony.
Color guard, left hand, set. Gary, colors. Forward, march. Color guard, halt. Left, face. Present, arms. Order, arms. Right, face. Forward, march.
Thank you to Kevin Novaroff from our music department for getting us started here this morning. We'd like to welcome Megan and Anastasia to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You guys can be seated. Good morning. Making sure. Oh, good morning. You don't let any virus stop you from saying good morning to each other, right? Welcome to this morning's ceremony. Welcome to our college, those of you who are visiting campus. A huge welcome to all of those who have participated so far. Please give another round of applause, not only for our ROTC unit from high school, but also our awesome singers this morning. Please give them a round of applause. Awesome job. If you are a veteran, Whether you work here, go to school here, or just here in the community, if you are a veteran, would you please stand? And if you're already standing, please wave your hand and let us recognize you this morning also. We thank you for your service, and we thank you for what you have and continue to do as far as your work is concerned and what you do in this community, and many of you what you do on this campus. As most of you know, my wife, Lori, who's not here this morning, she's in Oklahoma today visiting our son and his wife, trying to help them out with some move-in to a house, and she's been down there all week. Texted her this morning, and she texted back about how she's sorry that she's missing. She's always been here for this. She is a veteran herself, having spent some 27, 28 years as part of the armed forces as reserve and as active duty. And so she's usually here for this event, and so she's wanted to send her regards. But what's so neat about that for me, and why this means so much to me, is not only, as I mentioned in years past, not only the fact of what my wife and how she served this country, but she's down there with our son, who also spent 5 years in the Marine Corps and just exited the Marine Corps about a year or so ago, year and a half ago. And he being a veteran, him having served our country in that way, it's so cool to have both of them in our house and a part of my family because of that history. But also, when I think about my brother, who served about 8 years in the U.S. Army back in the late 70s into the early 80s, and think about his sacrifice that he made for this country. And then prior to him, our father, who was a World War II veteran, who served years in the Army, in the cavalry, as a soldier in the U.S. Army. For me, this day means a lot because of my family, because of loved ones, but because of the sacrifice that people have made for this country in giving their lives and giving themselves. Recognizing this morning that there are some people that we are thinking about this morning who truly gave their lives in sake and service of this country, and who served on a battlefield, and who served in our armed forces and lost their lives in defending this country. And those who have lost limbs of their bodies, who have had scars both physically and mentally that will be there for some time to come. For that sacrifice is why we honor those folks today. I think about our national anthem, as it was so ably sang a little while ago. And I think about that line, and I had never really thought about this very much until preparing to share these words with you today. There's lines in that national anthem when the ladies this morning sang, "And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there." Now think about that for a second. What that picture depicts is a battle. And it was not a very good, not a very friendly battle. It was a very nasty battle. And what that song talks about is, and I can imagine soldiers, I can imagine folks out on the battlefield going through, and people going through this battle, and all the glare of the bombs and all these things that lit up the sky, they were able to look and see the flag was still there. I think that was something of some respite. I think it probably had a soothing effect for some of those fighting on that field, because I think they probably, when they saw the flag still there, as the line says, and our flag was still there, in spite of all the battle, in spite of all the rockets and all these things, the flag was still there. And I think about that battle, and I think about today here in 2020. Our battle is different, isn't it? Well, I tell you, this right here says my battle today is a bit different. Yet still, we have a battle that is easy for us to get very discouraged about: a virus, social and racial injustices that we're recognizing, The things that we are seeing as a country today, that battle and those battles are still waging on, but just as that day and just as that song says, the flag was still there, that image of the flag gave those people that thought that everything is going to be all right. And I say to you the same thing this morning. In spite of what we battle today, the flag is still there. We are still a country. We are still a proud country. And just as that flag gave people a solace and a feeling of we're going to be okay, help that flag do the same thing for you today. To remind you that as the old words still ring true today, this too shall pass. And we will get to the other side of this. It is because of sacrifice that you get past things like this. People that sacrifice time, people that sacrifice resources, people that sacrifice themselves to make sure you and I are able to still see that flag. That's why we honor our veterans today. But that also has such a deeper meaning today, friends, because the flag is still there. And we still stand as a country. We still stand for what we need to, which is unity, civility. Please think about what that means in your everyday living. What does unity and civility truly mean? Because if we lose our unity as a country, and if we lose civility, then my wife, my son, my brother, and my father would look at us and say, then why did I defend? Why did I give my life? Why did I give? And the veterans I'm looking at today, why did I do that if we as a country cannot remember the importance of civility and unity in this perfect union that we seek? So celebrate our veterans today. We definitely celebrate you. But also celebrate the fact that we as a country can indeed be that United States of America. God bless you. Thank you.
Could we have our veterans or active military come forward, please? Would you be so kind as we take a moment of silence to place the wreath by our Veterans Memorial located over here? Please. Thank you. Please join us in our moment of silence as they place the wreath. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Phoenix Noel and Fred Lazo up to read a poem, I Am a Veteran. Please come forward.
You may not know me the first time we meet. I'm just another you see on the street. But I am the reason you walk and breathe free. I'm the reason for your liberty. I'm a veteran.
I work in the local factory all day. I own the restaurant just down the way. I sell you insurance, I start your IV. I've got the best looking grandkids you'll ever see. I'm your grocer, your banker, your child's school teacher. I'm your plumber, your barber, your family's preacher. But there's part of me you don't know very well. Just listen a moment, I have a story to tell. I am a veteran.
I joined the service while still in my teens. I traded my prom dress for camouflage greens. I'm the first in my family to do something like this. I followed my father like he followed his. Defying my fears and hiding my doubt, I married my sweetheart before I shipped out. I missed Christmas, then Easter, the birth of my son, but I knew I was doing what had to be done.
I served on the battlefront. I served on the base. I bound up the wounded and begged for God's grace. I gave orders to fire. I followed commands. I marched into conflict in far distant lands. In the jungle, the desert, on mountains and shores, in bunkers, in tents, on dank earthen floors. While I fought on the ground, in the air, on the sea, my family and friends were home praying for me. For the land of the free and the home of the brave, I faced my demons in foxholes and caves. Then one dreaded day, without drummer or fife, I lost an arm. My buddy lost his life.
I came home and moved on, but forever was changed. The birth of war in my memory remained. I don't really say much. I don't feel like I can. But I left home a child, and I came home a man.
There are thousands like me, thousands more who are gone, but their legacy lives as time marches on. White crosses in rows and names carved in queue remind us of what these brave souls had to do.
I am part of a fellowship, a strong, mighty band of each man and each woman who has served this great land. And when Old Glory waves, I stand proud, I stand tall. I help keep her flying over you, over all.
I am a veteran.
Thank you for joining us today. As we conclude our ceremony today and honor our veterans, I ask that you please walk over to our Veterans Memorial and place your flag underneath our Veterans Memorial and our Veterans Tree, and please enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.